Hello YouTube, it's your boy Nathan coming to you to do another recap video. Today we are continuing Love on the Spectrum season 4 episodes 3 and 4. So yeah, like I said the other day, I wanted to break these episodes down instead of doing like the entire season on one and stuff and everything, so I just don't lose control and everything. So we had a good first two episodes. I'm liking the season so far. This has probably been a better season of them all. The first person I want to talk is Emma. So she went on a date with this Austin guy in the first two episodes, and it didn't work out. Now after a month later, she's planning on going on another date. She met this guy Eric at this little tulip garden or whatever. For the he carried the conversation. He's also practicing the Mormon faith just like Emma is. So they hit it off in that way. You know, one of Emma's things is that she wants a guy that can carry a conversation. So when he came out, he was, again, I get everybody shy at first and everything. He was a little shy, but he continued, but they seem to have like a genuine connection. So it was interesting when they first meet in at the garden. For some crazy weird way, the wind was blowing like crazy and like dust was just like flying everywhere. I'm like, oh my god! I was a little worried about that for a minute. I was like, oh my god, why is the wind blowing like that? I initially thought it was a fan, but that the producers had behind the scenes to like make it dramatic. But dang, that one was crazy. But they went on their date and hit it up pretty well. Had good conversations and stuff. And at the end, he asked if they want to see each other again. And this time, because last time she rejected, but this time Emma said yes, that she wants to see this Eric guy again. So so that's cute. Everything. She explained that she goes to a school that's just for people who are on the autism spectrum and everything. And yeah, that's all I can say about it because we only seen her like in the first on episode 3. We didn't see her in episode 4. But she seemed to hit it off better with this guy than that Austin guy in the first episode. So yeah, that was basically Emma. Next couple I want to talk is Madison and Tyler. So Madison and Tyler, they're so cute. They're in, as we all know, Madison moved closer. I think it's called Plant City to be closer to Tyler, and she got her own apartment with her brother. This episode, the parents all got together, and everybody got together for a dinner and meal and everything to talk things. And it was interesting. Madison's dad told Tyler's dad an interesting story about Madison. Madison has a spending problem. She was given like a certain amount of money. He told a story that she's been given when she was in school. He gave her some money and stuff and everything, and he would be checking his bank statements. And Madison like went to the dollar store and spent like a lot of things just on a lot of stuff. Now she likes to collect dolls and stuff and everything. And Tyler, he talked about like his NASCAR collection and talked about how all the NASCAR drivers and what they did in all the years and stuff and everything. But Madison for a while had a really big problem with spending and everything. So her dad said that we finally got some kind of control on it and stuff and everything, and she's doing a lot better when it comes to like financing and budgeting her money, because that was actually his only fear with her being on her own, was that she wasn't going to be able to budget. But the story but he said that she would be supposed to be in class, and then like in between classes we'll run across the street to the dollar store and just spend a lot just spend a lot. And we're like, okay, we got to get control on this. So I thought that was an interesting story. So after that, Madison and Tyler actually are planning on their first ever plane ride together. Now, Madison and Tyler, they're country. They like to wear the cowboy hats and everything. So they actually flew from Florida to Nashville to Music City to like check out some like basically all these museums and musical stuff and everything. So they went to the music. They went to this like museum and stuff. They seen like all kind of like um, singers. Like they saw like Whitney Houston, Katy Perry, um, all these country singers, Darius Rucker and stuff and everything. Just like in like mannequin shaped forms that look really realistic and everything. So they hit it off really well with that. I'm proud of Madison and Tyler. They're really exploring the world. They're doing a lot of things that I wish I could do. They're doing more than way more than what I could do right now and everything. But and they had an interesting conversation. Tyler asked, like, are these like, we're sitting next to these like mannequins that look so realistic. Are they more realistic than her doll collection? And Madison was just like her face just like scrunted up. She's like she hated to admit it, but yeah, these are more realistic than my dolls and everything. And it was interesting when she was packing. She said she's not going to bring all her dolls, but she brought a couple dolls. But she said every time when she packs and goes on trips, she doesn't pack light. She got her cowboy boots, cowgirl boots or whatever, the hats and everything. And yeah, she's not a light traveler, that's for sure. I'd be like, oh my goodness. So yeah, that was cute. That was cute. So that was Madison and Tyler. Next person I want to talk. We met a new guy. His name was Dylan. Dylan, he's actually he lives with his mom, and they live out in California, and they're actually immigrants. I think they came from, I think they said Guatemala. I'm not sure or whatever. He's 22 years old. Real proper, and again, another gentleman. He's a real gentleman and stuff and everything. He's never had a girlfriend date or whatever and everything. When we first introduced him, he was showing the producer how to work his smart TV and stuff. And his voice interactions with his smart stuff, and none of them would work. He would say TV power on and everything, and nothing would come on. We don't know. We don't know what was happening. But we met Dylan, and then they set him up on a date. He went on a date at this like ranch, whatever, with this girl named Caroline, and everything. And they hit it off and had a good time. They were sitting on this like Ronald Rosie type thing, and they were talking, and then they just started spinning, and they were getting a little scared or whatever and everything. So they had a good they had a good nice little conversation and everything. And he just like Logan, he's jumping fast. He's like, oh my god, I really like you. And he asked her, do you like me? And like she's like, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I really like you and stuff and everything. So he asked her if he could see her again, and she's like, yeah. But then when he went home, he had like a little slight breakdown when he was talking to his mom and his cousin. Because with this being his first date, he was just still overstimulated. He was just like, this is overwhelming. This is my first time doing this, and you guys did a good job on the first try. I really like this girl and everything. So, but yeah, but this was just a lot and everything. But I do think that he jumped a little too fast, because just like Logan, he was like already in love. But you know what? I'm not mad at it, because if he's never really had like a girlfriend or anything, and he finally has a girl that's like shows some kind of interest in him and everything, of course he's gonna feel the love right away and stuff and everything. So I can't be mad at it. He asked, like, you want a kiss on the hand, on the cheek, or whatever? And she's like, or a hug. And he's like, just a hug for now and everything. So I know these guys, they really want to kiss. So yeah, I'm curious to see how when I do watch the rest of the season, how Dylan and Caroline's journey unfolds, basically. So yeah, he was a really nice guy. He was a proper gentleman as well too. So yeah, that was Dylan. The next couple I want to talk is freaking James and Shelley. So James, they went to this like it's interesting that like a lot of these couples, they're going to these places like these ranches, these colonial prehistoric time type places and stuff and everything for their dates and everything. James and Shelley went on another date, and they went on a date with at this like chapel outside this chapel area or whatever and everything. James talks a lot. He talks a lot, and I mentioned that plenty of times. People on social media are starting to like wonder about it because like someone, I think I've seen a post saying that Shelly has a lot of patience, and I may have to agree with that and everything. Now, Shelly did a question and answer on Instagram, and somebody asked her, like, is James like that off camera? And she said, no, and she said he's really more mellow and listens a little bit more off camera. So, But, it's really hard to, like, I just feel like I don't know much about Shelly. It's just all about James because he talks all the time and just like, they're at the chapel and he's just like, oh, this is the place where people get married. I want to get married one day. Oh, but I wonder if you feel the same way. And he just starts rambling and everything. And, obviously I get it for the obvious reasons, but yeah, I just feel like I don't know nothing about Shelly. She's a really beautiful girl and everything, and she does have patience, like with James and everything. But I just wish like we get to see more of Shelly, more of her feelings, and more of her speaking. She doesn't speak that much because he's always talking and stuff and everything. But so it's like James, and he's a cool guy, but and like I said on the last episode, that song and poem that he wrote for her was really beautiful and everything. But again, I just wish I would know a little bit more about Shelly because she can barely speak. So it's what it is. So yeah, unfortunately, that was all of James and Shelly and everything. They went on a little date um, inside the chapel or whatever, and same thing, just talking and talking, talking and talking, rambling, rambling, and everything. So yeah, that was James and Shelly. Next couple I want to talk is Georgie and Connor. So we seen Connor like his dad came over to talk to him and give him some advice to give like a little update and everything. We seen his when his dad came over, his dog got out and he started chasing his dog, and him and his mom started chasing the dog to try to get the dog back in the house and stuff and everything. I'm sorry, and y'all forgive me. His mom is his mom is hot. I'm sorry. Connor's mom is hot. And don't be coming at me in the comment section, but Connor's mom is hot. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just have to say that she's really beautiful, and whatever how old she is, she does not look her age. So I'm sorry. I just have to throw that in there. But so yeah, Connor and Georgie are going on this like to this like Renaissance festival where they had to dress up in Vikings and stuff and everything. And I think like they did something similar to that last season and stuff. And they also want to like they're planning on a trip to the UK to visit like his grandfather and stuff and everything. And he wants to take Georgie with them when he goes. So Georgie and Connor go to the Renaissance Festival and everything, and everybody's dressed in Vikings and all that good stuff. They're walking around, taking pictures, having a good time, and just celebrating their 1 year anniversary, basically. Um, One interesting thing about the episode was that you know when you're at like a little festival, there's always like some kind of like when somebody stands into like there's like a big thing of water and somebody has to like throw a ball and hit the bell to dunk somebody in the water and stuff. They had something similar to that in this festival. They had a guy like with his head like sticking out of some wood and stuff and everything, and you had to throw tomatoes at him while he's taunting you and everything. There was a sign that says if you're easily offended by this, don't do it and everything. So Connor goes up to throw tomatoes at this guy, and he's taunting and everything. So Connor's just like, okay, yeah, okay, watch this. Connor missing some shots and everything. So the guy is still taunting and everything. He was like, yeah, Connor, you're a left. No one told you this, but you're left-handed. So he's like, okay, left hand this and everything. So then he did all his throws. So they let Georgie take and take a chance, take a turn and throw. Georgie just was just like she threw them tomatoes and hit that guy multiple times and did it without breaking a sweat. She did it without smiling, without talking crap and everything. She was just like, "Here, give me this. There, done." I was like, "Okay, Georgie." I was like, "Oh shoot, okay, don't mess with her. It's always the quiet ones. It's always the quiet ones." So, so I thought that was great, and kudos to Georgie for that. Now, don't spoil the rest of the season for me, but I did see a spoiler, and I'll talk about it later if it's confirmed. But someone said that Georgie and Connor broke up, and I'm gonna be really disappointed if that's true. I haven't seen it. I've seen some rumors. I really hope that's not the case, or they work their way back to each other, because they're a cute couple. So after the tomato throwing, Connor asked Georgie if she would go with him to the UK, and she said yes and everything. And they just started kissing and everything, and they got each other gifts. Um, I think they both. Connor got Georgie this like necklace that says Gigi on it, and Georgie got Connor like this like bracelet and everything for their anniversaries and stuff. And it was really beautiful, really beautiful. So yeah, I like them. I really hope they don't break up. They're a real cute couple. So yeah, that was Georgie and Connor. And the last couple I want to talk is um, Haley and Logan. So when we first met Logan, he was he went last time we seen Logan, he was on a date with Haley. Logan, he likes some girls that has like curly hair, but he keeps telling Haley that since she has straight hair, your hair is just great the way it is and everything and all that. So Haley and Logan end their date, and then Logan comes back home with his mom and sister, and he coming back like he a new man and stuff and everything. He's madly in love with Haley from the get already and everything. He tells his family how it went and everything, that and how great she is and everything, and he even decided to dump his imaginary girlfriend and stuff and everything. I'm not making fun. Trust me, I'm not making fun. I'm not making fun. So Logan and Haley, like Logan wants to go on another date with Haley. So he called her and asked her, "Do you want to go to this like ghost town or whatever for our next date?" And she said, "Yeah." So Logan and Haley, and remember when they had their first date, they wanted to get a cheesecake, but the time went up or whatever. So Logan actually has a thing of cheesecake for them so that they can sit down and have some after their date. So Logan and Haley meet up for their date at this like ghost town or whatever and everything. And they meet up, Logan is saying how much he really likes Haley and everything. She's saying how much she likes him and stuff and whatever. So they go on the date. They go on the date in this like creepy like ghost town. They go inside like to the store, and the guy working at the store like told them the rules. Like, hey, there's like rattlesnakes out here, and everything. And like, if you want ice cream, there is ice cream in the freezer. If you want to go get some, go get some. They walk back and get some, and they open up. And it's a snake in there. And Haley started freaking out. She started screaming like, "Whoa, that!" Like, and the dude was like, "Sorry, that was a joke." And they were like, "That ain't funny, dude." So they walk around and they see like all these like broken cars and planes and everything, and just talking about just just random stuff and everything. And then Logan was just like, these cars are not as beautiful as you, Haley, and everything. And she's like, "Oh, thank you," and everything. So after they did their date and everything, they actually went to inside. They also went inside this chapel where they actually had their cheesecake and everything. And she was so excited to see the cheesecake. Oh, the cheesecake! So they had the cheesecake, and then Logan, being bold, he asked Haley, he was like, "Haley," he brought up her hair again. She's like, "You know what? You're great. Your hair is great the way you are and everything." And she was just like, "Well, I just got out the shower a couple days ago." I was like, "Oh." okay. She just got out the shower a couple days ago. Okay. Okay. Well, I have to double check on that one, but okay. But but yeah, Logan likes her straight hair. He don't mind it not being curly or whatever. And then Logan finally had the guts to ask Haley, "Will you be my girlfriend?" And she said yes. And will you be my boyfriend? And he's like yes. And he's all happy. And then that leads to a really powerful, Logan's first ever powerful kiss. Like he asked, "Can I kiss you?" And she's like, "Okay, yes." They kiss. And I was like, "Oh, okay, okay." Then they kissed again. Mm, okay, okay. And then she was like, "Okay, one more." And they kissed again. It was like, dang, okay, 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 back up, back up. I'm okay. I was really happy for Logan because I initially thought when I first saw Haley, I initially thought that this was almost a setup. I didn't think at first she was even on the spectrum at first until they started having conversations and stuff and everything. And then I thought that she might be out of his league, but. No, they're a really cute couple. She really likes him. You know, she works at she works at the school and stuff and everything. And she said the producer asked Haley like, is he a good kisser? And she was like, you know, he needs some work. She started roasting him. She's like, he needs some work, but I can teach him a few things. I was like, oh shoot, she gonna teach him some stuff? Okay. So I was like, okay, okay, back up, back up. So I think I seen a little bit of that leading into episode 5. I started episode 5, and that's the only part I saw. So I'll be back on to do like episodes 5, 6, and 7 later and stuff. I'm gonna watch the final 3 episodes and then do another video on the final 3 as we wrap up the season. But yeah, that's basically it, you guys. Yeah, that's basically the end of the review of episodes 3 and 4 of Love on the Spectrum. Yeah, it's really been a good season so far. Like I'm enjoying these genuine couples and everything. I can't wait to see how Madison and Tyler's story plays out. I'm curious to see what happens with Georgia and Connor, and I can't wait to see the update on like Abby and David and Puri and her girl and stuff and everything and Tanner. I can't wait to see the update with them. So. But anyway, guys, that is the end of my review. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'll be back on later to finish up the season and then get back into 90 Day Fiancé before the 90 days tomorrow, Monday. All right, I'll see y'all then. Love you guys. Bye.